Hi, my name is Mark Meckler, and I'm co-founder and national coordinator of the Tea Party Patriots. I wanted to welcome you to the Nevada County Tea Party Patriots post-election party. I'm really excited you guys could be here tonight. Unfortunately, I couldn't be, so I wanted to record a message for you tonight. I really wanted to give you an inside perspective on the history of the moon, a little bit about how fast it's grown, a little bit about the current election results, where we're headed in the short term, and where we're headed in the long term. I just returned from a 21-state, 37-city tour around the nation, the majority of it right before the elections. And the point was for Tea Party Patriots to get out the vote, to get out there, connect with local chapters just like yours all across the country. I visited places that are a lot like Nevada County, places like Klamath Falls, Oregon, up in White Plains, New York. I was even in Harrison, Arkansas. And what I experienced all across the country was nothing short of extraordinary. People talk all the time about ordinary Americans. The truth is, I didn't meet any ordinary Americans on my travels. I met only extraordinary patriots in every city I went to. And what I met were people who were totally committed. A lot of people who'd been here since the beginning of the movement, and a lot of people who intend to be here for a long time to come involved in the Patriot movement. You know, the history of the movement is short, but it's incredibly exciting. We got started in February of 2009. We had 49 Tea Parties around the country. Over 35,000 people took to the streets. And it's been crazy what's happened since then. I don't think any of us anticipated what was going to happen. You know, we were just citizens, all of us with a very similar story. We were fed up, we were exhausted by the politics of the day, and we really didn't expect change. And when we came out, it was really to express our exasperation with a government that was totally run amok. And we essentially joined philosophically across the country on February 27, 2009. And again, I had no idea what was going to happen. I don't think most of you who were there had any idea what was going to happen. But the growth has been astronomical. I mean, right now, Tea Party Patriots across the country, we have over 2,800 chapters, millions of members all across the country. Like I said, in small cities and small counties, just like here in Nevada County, but also New York City, in San Francisco, in Dallas County, wherever you go, you're going to find Tea Party Patriots all across the country. So it's been beyond our wildest expectations, but honestly, I think the best is to come. I think the growth is ahead of us, and I think our ability to change the nation is only going to improve. We had a huge election night party in DC on November 2nd. We were expecting great results. I think we got great results. If you look all across the country, first of all, virtually everywhere that Jenny Beth and I, my co-founder, traveled across the country, we experienced electoral victory in those places. If you look at New York as a great example, in upstate New York, the upper half of the state, in every district where we stopped, we experienced electoral victory. That's because there were great Tea Partiers on the ground working really hard in those places. And the bottom half of that state is very blue, the upper half is very red. We're just going to need to spread that across the state to make greater change. The night of November 2nd was extraordinary. At 5:30 p.m., we were all assembled out on the Capitol lawn. There were probably 50 to 75 coordinators from all around the nation. People like the folks here that run your local chapter. My parents, Stan and Elaine Meckler, were there. And it was really families and just regular people from all over the country. Amazingly, we probably had as many journalists as we did people who were out there on the Capitol lawn. And what we did is we planted the Gadsden flag and the American flag, and we reclaimed the Capitol for the American citizen, for we the people. It was an extraordinary feeling to see those flags get planted, to look behind us and see the Capitol. And as we looked out, we were looking to the west, and what we saw is we saw a sun setting across the country on one America, and we were confident that after the results that night, that the sun would rise on a new America the next day, and that is definitely what happened. After the event on Capitol Hill, we went back to the Hyatt Hotel where we had an election night party. And this was a traditional party where we just essentially wanted to get together as Tea Partiers and watch election results. Again, media was there, every major media outlet, and really amazingly, media from all over the world. We had media from Japan, Germany, Denmark. It was just extraordinary, the attention that is being paid to you as Tea Party Patriots, not only here in America, but all around the world. And we got the results we hoped for all across the country. 60+ seats changed hands that we knew about that night. There were some extraordinary moments. We had a moment where Jenny Beth and I were actually standing on stage, and the announcement was made on Fox News, which was playing up on the big screen, that the House had changed hands. And I think the most exciting thing was how early it came in the night. It was much earlier than we expected. A cheer went up through the crowd. If you haven't seen it, you can go see that on YouTube by looking up Tea Party Patriots. You'll see our videos there. It was really a historic moment. And I think this marks a sea change in American government. It certainly marks a sea change in how Americans view their government. We learn that this is a movement of one. There are millions of us, but we act as individuals. We believe in the concept of personal responsibility, and we've proven that if we're willing to take to the streets, if we're willing to work for the candidates in whom we believe, and if we're willing to stand up for principle, and specifically the principles of fiscal responsibility, constitutionally limited government, and free markets, we really can change the country. These results are important, but they're just the beginning of the fight. November 2nd was a very important day in our history, and it's one that will go down in history as a turning point. But the most important day is November 3rd, because that's the day we got back to work. That's the day we got together. We acknowledged that the first stage was behind us. We're now in the starting blocks of changing the country. We have people in Congress who we believe, we hope, we pray will do the right thing. But history also tells us something differently. History tells us that if we fail to pay attention to these people, if we fail to hold them accountable, they will surely do what they've done in the past. And what that is they will slowly pick apart our liberties, take away our liberty. They will slowly take away our money, our freedoms. So it's our job to remain ever vigilant and make sure that that does not happen. So again, this election was historic, but it's only a starting point for the Tea Party Patriots. Right here in Nevada County, you guys made an extraordinary difference. Every candidate supported by local Tea Party members won their respective offices. That is an amazing result. And that result, while not universal, was played out over and over again across the country. You guys proved it right here at home in a very blue state that you can make a difference if you guys get together and support real conservative candidates. As you're watching this, I'm actually in Washington, D.C., and I'm here to start the process of holding these newly elected officials accountable. Tea Party Patriots is holding a freshman orientation, and at this orientation, we have over 175 coordinators from all around the country that are getting together, sitting down with the freshmen to let them know what we expect of them. And it's not just about what we expect, but it's to show them that we support them, that if they do the right things, that if they vote our principles, that if they always stand strong instead of going along to get along, that we'll provide them with the political capital they need to continue standing strong. Sometimes they're going to get pressure from the incumbents, from the leaders that are already in place to go along with the existing plans. And we need to let them know that we're out here not by the hundreds, not by the thousands, but by the millions to provide the strength for them to do the right thing. It's not an easy job that these folks have, so we want them to know that we're on their side. We support them if they do the right thing. We also want them to know that if they do the wrong thing, if they do go along to get along, if they're there for the perks and privileges, we'll be back again in 2 years. We've elected a large slate of people that we believe support our values. If they prove they don't support our values, we'll be back to D.C. again 2 years from now. We'll be celebrating another huge victory where we throw all of them out and start all over again.